Hi guys, I hope you're all okay. Today's session, I want you to be very tentative from the start to the end of this session of ours today. Because I know there's a lot of confusion going on as students are they don't know what to do simply because of these transitioning effects. At least I know previously we have been hearing a lot of cases and rumors in relation to the same. So today I'll want to be very straightforward and tell you guys the effects, the advantages of this new paper called Business Data Analytics. So ideally this is for all of us. And also remember that of course Kasneb has also been accredited with of course the qualifications authority, which I'll also be explaining and the advantages of the same. So today's session, I'll want to take you guys through step-by-step ways where, in this case, for you to understand basically the aspect of this business data analytics, as well as the advantages of the same, plus the qualification that, or rather the accreditation that Kasneb has been granted. So we are going to start basically by understanding this accreditation that Mwalimu is talking about here. You'll kind of be like, Mwalimu, what are these accreditation that you're talking about that Kasneb has been granted? So this is a very important that we also understand, because, and a lot of questions might come out of this. I've shared a certain doc that all of us we are seeing there on the screen. So in this case, this circular basically explains the accreditation of Kasneb. I know majority of you should be very happy. That is a registration of a professional and post-qualification syllabus by the Kenya National Qualifications Authority, KNQA, inclusive of practical analytics content for CPA and CIFA qualification. You guys must be just smiling because you know it will come with a lot of advantages. My key area basically is on paragraph number 2, where in this case, if at all, you can all go to paragraph 2. Upon the successful review of the syllabuses, KNQA has formally accredited the following professionals and post-professionals qualifications examined by Kasneb and placed them at Kenya National Qualification Framework Level 7, which in this case is equivalent with bachelor's degree, and KNQF Level 8 with postgraduate degrees, meaning that Level 8 is equivalent to postgraduate degrees respectively, as follows. So I know maybe some of you will be like, Mwalimu, now once we are done with Kasneb, or once I'm done with CPA, will it be as if I've gotten a clear degree? I know majority of you might be asking like that. In that case, Mwalimu is not going to give us a solution on that, or rather an answer on that. I'll prefer that at any given point, of course, you can make inquiry with Kasneb in relation to that aspect. But as it is now, Kasneb basically, it has, or rather the CPA and CIFA and other courses I'm going to list here, they have been lifted, or rather they have been taken to a level of a degree, whereas post-qualifications paper, they have been taken to a level of what? To a level of course, to a level of, you can term it as masters, or rather to a level of talk about postgraduate degrees. Where in this case, specifically the courses that we're talking about here, we're talking of professional qualifications. That is a level 7 category of bachelor's degree. Certified public accountants, certified secretariat, certified investment and financial analyst. Talk about certified credit professionals, which is equivalent to postgraduate degree. We are talking of post-professional qualification, which is has been taken to level 8. That is a certified forensic fraud examiner. So basically in this case, my good students will be able to understand that we'll be having a lot of disadvantages on that. We'll be having a lot of advantages after clearing your CPA. And that's the reason why Kasneb is working so hard to make sure that at least we've reached a level of international. the way ACCA is and the way CFA is. So it's a very good news to the students. So basically that is in relation to the accreditation part, which Kasneb has been accredited in relation to that. Now, the second segment of this session of ours, and this is where we'll be having a lot of questions, right? In relation to the first one, I'll say that more, of course, more info, I believe Kasneb will be communicating soon. And as I always say, I'm not speaking on behalf of Kasneb. Mine is just to guide you. Mine is just to guide you. So the other element that I'll also want us to discuss here is basically about the transitioning from previous system to the current system, which in this case you can, of course, call it maybe syllabus. So in this case, we are having administration of a practical data analytics paper for CPA and CIFA qualifications, research project for CS qualification, and other transition provisions. So my good students, at this point, I want us to understand one thing, that previously you'll find that once you are done with a paper that is a CPA, you are just good to go. But with this new system, and I think I've really mentioned this in so many videos that I've mentioned, you'll find that you'll be required to do this business data analytics. And the big question has always been like, for the students who were under the previous system, and maybe you passed, I want to be very clear here, in the event that maybe you passed all the other papers, including the papers that are now under specialization, what is your fate? Your fate in that case, you say that in that case, you'll have cleared with your CPA. So long as you cleared that before, or rather in that August sitting, which was the last sitting under the previous system, right? In that case, you are just through with CPA. Then there is other category of student whom in this case probably that yes, they are under the new system, that is, and you cleared your paper in August. If at all you were under the new system and you cleared your paper in August, that is to say, you are still eligible, or you will be required to sit for what? To sit for business data analytics paper. Now, there is other category of student, they were under the previous system, and by bad luck probably, they have passed the papers that are now under compulsory papers, but unfortunately, they have failed a paper that is now under specialization. Maybe you have failed, say like one paper, and initially you failed like one paper and you passed two papers. So in this case, you'll find that the new information that, of course, I'm going to communicate to you, it might sound different with the previous information, because I'll always update you with whatever that I do have. So you'll find that in this category of students, that is to say, you can forego, you can give a pass that one paper that you would fail, assuming you are doing MA, tax, and auditing. These are papers under specialization under the current system, which you can refer to it as a current syllabus, right? And you have passed MA and tax, then you have failed auditing. Mwalimu is saying, in this case, you can forego the audit paper, but you'll have to do the business data analytics paper, subject for further clarification from Kasneb. But as it is now, that is your fate. And I know the other question will be, Mwalimu, what if I have failed one paper, or rather I've failed, say, like 2 papers, and I've passed 1 paper? What will be your fate? These are so many questions that I know you can be asking yourself. Or I have failed all the 3 papers. I want us to go through this document. I want us to go through this document of ours here, which you'll find it to be very, very interesting. I want us to go to this document of our qualification. which you'll find it to be very, very interesting. This is a document that I've shared here. So in this case, this is a what, sorry, it's not that, that is, of course, sorry for that. You are talking of, I'm sharing this transition document with us here. So in this case, you'll find that, I'll take you through clearly. First of all, it has been confirmed that this paper is going to be administered on 14th December 2022. So in that case, already you have what? You have the exact date which you are going to do what? Which you are going to sit for that paper. Then in this case, you also see that we're also having pilot papers, of course, will be issued for practice on computer-based. That is, of course, a computer-based examination, which you're timing in the CBE. Don't confuse it with what you're having under the current education. That is, of course, CBE for the other one, right? So basically, at this point, you're talking about computer-based examinations. In this case, this is very clear that pilot papers will be issued for practice on a CBE platform before the examinations. Also, candidates will be required to be proficient in the MS, that is, of course, Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and this application in data analysis. So that is to say that you must be very good in data analytics. Now, the other case here, we can also see that other guidelines are candidates will need to bring at least a Core i3 laptop installed with MS Excel 2010 or a higher version to sit for the examination, to sit at the examination. So that is to say, my good students, you must equip yourself. For you to sit for this paper, you must be having a Core i3 machine and above. And later on, I'll be telling you guys the good offers that MDarasa has for the students who will be registering for business data analytics in our new phase. Because remember, we had already admitted some students, which were 20, but because of the demand, majority of you have requested that we should open doors for you guys. And that is what we'll be doing next, which I'll be explaining that. So at this point, you'll be required to have a Core i3 laptop. Then also on the same case you are talking here, only advanced level, and this is where I want you guys to be very clear. Candidates, or rather only advanced level CPA, that is specialization pathway, and CIFA candidates who completed their theory papers in April 2022 or August 2022 sittings will be eligible to sit the respective analytics paper in the December 2022 sitting, which will be on 14th December. As we have agreed here and said that this paper will be very key, and in this case, you must be very good in some certain tools, which we'll also be explaining here. So we are saying that you'll find that we're having these candidates whom the first candidates who will sit for this paper will be in August 14th. And these are the candidates who had cleared their papers in April and August. And remember, these are the students who are under the new system, who are under the current system. Then here we're also having the case that is F. Of course, we've been given the deadline for booking for the same. Now, in relation to the aspect of the centers that are available for this CBE, in this case, Kasneb has clearly given us the centers which students will be required to sit for this, where we're having Kasneb Towers, KCA University, Gresa University, that is in Thika. We're having all these colleges, or rather centers that have been stated here. So in the event that you booked for this paper, know the centers where you're going to sit for these papers, which it has been clearly stated there. Then we're having, of course, further guidelines, of course, will be given to the students in due course. Now, I want us to be very tentative. I want us to be very, very tentative in note number 2. And I know this is where majority of the question, will be. So in this case, we are being told in note 2 that according to approved transitional provisions for the syllabuses launched in July 21, CPA advanced level, this is the syllabus that was launched last year, candidates under the old syllabus, that is non-specialization, had up to the August 2022 sitting to complete their papers. I want you to listen to that very careful. The candidates who did not complete the 6 papers at advanced level will be transited to the new syllabus as per the regulations. Of course, as per the regulations, we will be talking of the business data analytics as well as what I'll be talking about later on. These are workshops and seminars which will be required to attend, and all the other policies under the new system. So in this case, we can see that the concerned candidates, of course, will be advised on the papers to be examined on individual basis in August 2022 results notification. And that's why Mwalimu was very categorically clear here, where we are saying that, again, as much as you'll be expected as at now, as things are now, right? You are expected to, the case that I'd explained, in the event that you fail one specialization paper, you are expected, yes, to do business data analytics, but more communication will be done in your individual emails. And this will kind of be in line with the first video that I did. Remember the first video that I did explaining all these transitional effects, right? So that will be very key that you wait for Kasneb to communicate officially in your emails. You might be lucky. They might decide otherwise, and in this case, of course, you might be granted a pass. You might be granted a pass. You might be granted a pass. But I'll advise, regardless of whatever decision that is going to be communicated, it's very important that we do business data analytics paper. That paper will be of a great benefit to all of us. It will be of a great benefit to all of us. Now, the last segment of our video today. Sorry, let me drink my water a bit. The last bit in this segment of ours today, you'll find that we will be required to understand what will entail the business data analytics. What will entail the business data analytics. So these are what we have. I want to share with you here. So what will be entail in business data analytics? And this is where, guys, you must be very keen. This is where, guys, you must be very, very, very keen. So number one element is you have to understand the introduction to Excel, part of it. That is, of course, utilizing keyboard shortcuts in Excel, very important. That is, of course, will fasten your work, because, of course, you know you'll be under a certain time frame, right? So introduction to data analytics, very important. That is a cross-industry standard process for data mining. Very important. Anytime you're talking of data mining, I'll be giving you more details of this data mining in class. We're having big data and data analysis, very important. Talk about tools for data analytics, data visualization in Excel, and all the specifics have been given there. Now, in relation to these tools, that's why I was saying this from the word go, that don't go to anywhere, don't go to maybe an institution that will go and you are trained only Excel. Don't accept that. Even if you're not going to study with them, the RASA, whichever institution that you are going to study, make sure that the institution has given you key knowledge in relation to these tools, which will include the aspect of SQL, the aspect of Oracle, talk about cloud computing, and of course we'll be having other tools that I think I'd clearly mentioned these tools previously. I'd mentioned these tools previously in our first video. So that is very, very important to know. That is very, very important to note. Now we are having, of course, reporting visualization. Power BI, talk about Tableau, talk about MicroStrategy and other tools, which I think some of these tools had mentioned then previously in our first video of data analytics. Then you're having data visualization in Excel. Very key that you should be able to understand that. Talk about core applications of data analytics. Of course, I'm having financial accounting and reporting. In addition to that, of course, we'll also be talking of other areas, just a continuation of the same document. we're having financial management, where in this case you have to learn how to maybe work out time value of money. I think the last video that I did on my channel, it was about time value of money, and I say that this is a foundation of financial management. You can also see that you're also going to get it in your practical paper. Then, of course, all these elements, of course, which will also include application of data analytics in specialized areas in management accounting, auditing, taxation. So you just have to be very good, my good students. What Mwalimu is trying to say is that the previous knowledge that you had, for the whole concept of a CPA, the one that we've been studying, now it will be the time to put it on a practical perspective. It will be the time to apply it now practically, but in a examination perspective, which, as I had mentioned, is very good and is very beneficial to who? To CPA students. That will be a plus to you guys. And kindly remind Mwalimu to share with you this document immediately after this. Then the other key element that probably it might be new on our end, these are what I'll want to share with you. That is, of course, the workshops. That is where majority of the question will be. You'll be like, Mwalimu, how will we be attending this workshop? And as I mentioned earlier on, I'd say that Kasneb will also come up with the number of hours that you might be given for you to be given certificate of completion as at the end of the day. So this is what we're having, workshop on ethics, whereby students, of course, will be required to attend workshop on ethics, soft skills and emerging issues organized by Kasneb and ISPAC. And of course, students will also be expected to earn the IPD points. Basically, in this case, you have to attend these seminars, of course, organized by Kasneb and ISPAC. Maybe if you want to know IPD, basically these are what initial professional development points, or rather initial professional development hours, okay? Which in this other case, we normally term it in professionally CPD, right? CPD hours. So in this case, we find that 3 workshops. This is now where, again, you must also be very keen, and this is where your questions were. You had a lot of questions in relation to Mwalimu, then how many workshops will you be required to attend? This is what Mwalimu is giving us. You'll find that actually it's not Mwalimu is giving us. This is now what Kasneb has communicated, okay? 3 workshops will be organized, for which candidates will be required to attend at least 2 workshops. The question is, that will be the big question. The question will be, Mwalimu, will you be required to pay for these workshops? That's a big question that I know majority of you might ask Mwalimu next. Mwalimu, will you be required to pay for these workshops? I'm not speaking on behalf of Kasneb now, but I know you'll be required to pay for you to attend this, because you can't earn these points without paying, right? So, of course, that will be an extra cost, of course, to the students. Then you are talking about initial professional development hours will be earned to a maximum of 10 IPD hours. So in that case, of course, you'll have to fill that 10 hours for you to be granted, of course, your certificate of completion as at the end of the day. And of course, you are talking of these IPD hours will be converted to CPD hours upon qualifications. Now, once you are done with Kasneb, that is, of course, the examination, when you'll be registering with ISPAC, of course, these hours will be converted to CPD hours. So you'll find that as at the end of the day, is for the benefit of the students. As at the end of the day, is for the benefit of the students. As at the end of the day, is for the benefit of the students. Now, the other key element that I'll also want to bring into your attention is the practical experience. Practical experience. Of course, in addition to this, all further information will be communicated. What Mwalimu is trying to do is to give us a heads up on what will be expected to have. So basically, we are talking of the candidate will be required to obtain 1 year supervised practical experience in either accounting, auditing, taxation, management accounting, financial management, or any other related area. That is, of course, before you are given certificate of completion, before you are given certificate of completion. Of course, the details of the practical experience are covered under the trainee accountant's practical experience framework, which in this case I can share with you. And also, candidates without external practical experience will be required to attend work simulation guidelines. Further guidance, of course, to be separately issued. So in all these cases, you'll find that this document, and the good thing, of course, this one was released yesterday, and as always, Mwalimu will always tend to give us the first info. So I'm going to share again with you this document so that you can clearly check it. So in this case, I'll share with you this document, guys, so that as at the end of the day, you should be having also at your fingertips. And in case of any clarification you need, of course, you can always contact Mwalimu. Mwalimu will always guide us, or you can reach out to Kasneb and they'll give you more information. So after I've taken you through all that, my good students, I'll also want us to discuss, probably majority of you might ask Mwalimu, how then can we get these studies of business data analytics? At this point, it will be very key to understand that these are practical paper. And as MDarasa, we will be providing you with these training sessions for practical bit. As you have clearly see that it will require you to have detailed knowledge, because you'll be given your own machine. Within the stipulated hours, you'll be required for you to perform certain tasks, of course, which will be given in form of projects. So in this case, I'm inviting you, all of you, to come and join us for practical paper. Initially, remember, we had restricted the number to 20 students. But in this case, we have a method which you can accommodate as much as 50, or rather as much as what you can accommodate, by using, we'll be having, we are, at least at this point, some partners have come into place and they have decided to assist MDarasa in making sure that the students are getting good practical experience. So in this case, I'm inviting you to join us. And in addition to that, in this next phase, the first 3 students who are going to join us in this first phase, of course, they are going to be given laptops. You'll be having your own laptop. You've seen the specification of the laptop, Core i3 and above. So you'll be given a laptop, the first 3 students who are going to register with us. If interested, of course, with the aspect of the fee structure, Mwalimu is going to share. Mwalimu is going to share with us. Then the other students will be joining, each and every student will be joining business data analytics. We'll be giving you a special flash disk, which you can be using for all your projects. So to this point, guys, I might be having so many things to share with you, but allow Mwalimu to stop at this point. For further information, of course, you can always get in touch with us. To this point, thank you so much. Share with your friends. Share with whomever that you can share with. To this point, guys, thank you so much. And let us meet in the next session. Thank you.